Welcome back to Brit's Book Corner. Today's video is going to be a reading vlog, and I'm going to be reading a book that I've wanted to read for a while since I've heard of this author, and I finally purchased the book and I'm going to get to read it. What I'm going to be reading today is Revelry by Candy Steiner. I love Candy Steiner books a lot. I've reviewed 2 books by her already. Those are on my Bookstagram, which will be linked down below. And I just love her writing style and how well she portrays each character. So my first initial thoughts are, I'm 20 pages into the book and it's written really well. I've read more about Rin, which is the main female character, than I have Anderson, which is the male character. And Rin had a whole chapter dedicated to her, and Anderson in 20 pages has only had like 4 pages dedicated to him. But both of them have a lot of backstory packed into all of their, appearances in the book so far. One thing that I do notice that the characters have in common seems to be that they're both suffering with depression. I don't know if that's what Candy really wanted, but they're both suffering with depression. So I can't wait to see how these 2 characters fight their depression and deal with that and the like. So I'm hoping that I actually really like this book and that I like the characters enough to add it to my read again pile, and we will see. So quick update before I take a quick break to write with a live stream. I am on page 36. I'm about to start chapter 3. One thing that I've noticed that I didn't mention before is at the beginning of each of the chapters in this book, there's a word with like a definition that you would see out of a dictionary. And I really like seeing those there. It's really eye-catching, and you read it and you're like, oh, what's it got to do with this? So I really like seeing that. I'm really loving Rin's character. I'm really loving how well she's written. I'm really loving just knowing more about her, knowing more about her story, more about her life. I just really love reading about Rin. I haven't read very much about Anderson. There was only like 4 pages about Anderson. And so I'm really looking forward to knowing more about his character and what's happening. He's been mentioned outside of his own point of view one time, so I'm really excited to learn more about him and all of that stuff. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm hoping I can read a little bit more tonight, but I'm really liking Revelry. This book is just great. Alright guys, quick update. I am now on page 103 and I'm about to start chapter 8. And the last 5 chapters have left me emotionally charged. Because so much has happened. I've learned so much of the backstory from both Rin and Anderson. I've learned more about each of their own personalized depression stages and learned more about them as a person. Their encounters are getting more and more interesting, going from, like ignoring somebody to saving somebody to just so much other stuff. And, you hear stories and just you read about all of this stuff, all their backstories, all this stuff. And so it's a really good book. The last 5 chapters have really drawn me in. And I want to keep reading. It's almost dinner time here, so I don't think I'm going to get much more reading in right now. But it's absolutely amazing to be reading this book and to be loving this book. I'm not even on chapter 8 yet. Like, I haven't even started reading chapter 8, and it's been really eye-opening, to say the least, because I'm learning more about each character as they come. learning more about Anderson and his death that he's dealing with, and Ren and her failed marriage and what she's dealing with. And, you know, you're just kind of hearing these things as they go throughout the story, and it's drawing you in, and then something happens and your mind is just like blown. I've really loved, what I've really loved so far is getting to know Ren. Like, this book is written as you're getting to know the character. Like, the character is trying to become your friend. And so I really am liking that about Ren's character, like learning more about her as if I'm going to befriend her. Anderson's character is more of a mystery. I mean, now that I've read 7 full chapters, I mean, I know a little bit more that doesn't necessarily make him that big of a mystery, but he is still a mystery to me. You know, more of the book is written from her point of view than his, and it's really interesting for me because I want to figure out that mystery, and I want to keep reading and knowing what it means, you know, when he says certain things or when he does certain things and all of that, and why everybody in the town is protecting him and why he has beef with this person and all that stuff. So I want to read it and I want to know, and I want to do it, but it's kind of hard because, you know, I have stuff I need to get done. So for a good first day of reading, 103 pages is awesome. I'm going to read more later tonight like I always do, but I don't know how much I'm going to get further done in this book today, just because, you know, it's going to be dinner time, bedtime, all that stuff. So I just wanted to quickly update you guys real quick. Alright guys, I am on page 244. I'm about to start chapter 17 now. I'm almost done with the book, and I am absolutely in love. And when I say I'm in love with this book, I really do mean I'm in love with this book. I like almost everything to do with this book, and it's so good. It just pulls me in, and I don't know how else to describe it. Like, it's just pulling me in, and I love the interaction between Anderson and Ren, and I love the fact that she's like becoming more of the person she wants to be, but she's also still dealing with her depression, and he's still slightly dealing with his depression, only it's slowly going away, and just things like that. Like, I really like these things. The one thing that I've noticed since since last night that I read was how her mom just spontaneously showed up. I didn't like that because her mom was only mentioned in passing, like in conversation, and that was it. Like, her mom, she hasn't talked to her mom in the whole book. She hasn't really talked about her mom very much. And so for her mom to just show up out of the blue to throw like a wrench in the plans, it just didn't really make sense to me. But other than that, everything else is really good. I mean, there are a few things that I kind of have issue with, but, you know, I'm still really liking this book. So we will see how I like the rest of the book, and I will give you guys updates as I go. Hopefully I finish it today, and I can give you guys a good review, as well as post it on my Bookstagram account and go from there. Guys, so I just finished reading Revelry, and this book right here, this book is amazing. I love it. I love everything about the book. I love it all. Revelry was just such an emotional book. It was an emotional roller coaster, one that I was not really prepared for, but I loved it. I loved having that emotional roller coaster. I loved feeling my emotions pulled in every which direction. I loved trying to figure out what was going to happen next and being wrong. I loved it. I loved it. Candy Steiner did a really, really good job with this book, and she did such an amazing job writing both Anderson and Rin. I loved how both characters grew. I loved that Rin learned to love again and to truly forgive herself and to truly understand that her failed marriage was not her fault. I also loved that Anderson got over, you know, the depression that he was dealing with losing his cousin and the guilt that came along with that. And I loved that he, out of both Rin and Anderson, I loved that he grew the most. I feel like his character growth was just the best. I feel like outside of his, you know, little bubble world, once he met Ren, things just snowballed into effect. I really loved the book. I highly recommend that you guys read Revelry and just enjoy it with me. And if you guys read it, let me know. Comment down below if you've read it and what your thoughts are. That's it for this video, you guys. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed watching this reading vlog. I enjoyed making it. Like I just said, comment down below if you've read Revelry and let me know if you like it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.